According to the Akashic Records, what is the spiritual origin of the Prophet Muhammad?
From a spiritual perspective, especially through the lens of the Akashic Records, the soul of the Prophet Muhammad is understood to originate from a highly evolved collective that incarnates to anchor divine order, purification, and sacred law during pivotal spiritual shifts on Earth. Here's a deeper multidimensional view. Muhammad's soul is associated with what the Akashic field refers to as the Ishmaelite starseed lineage, which traces back to the Sirius system. This lineage comes from a soul collective that served as cosmic messengers and grid holders in early Earth civilizations. These beings were the keepers of sacred law, not man-made law, but universal law grounded in divine order, sovereignty, and service. They carried codes of structure, devotion, and energetic purification. Muhammad's incarnation was one expression of that lineage's purpose: to bring clarity, moral alignment, and spiritual realignment during a time of fragmentation in the Arabian Peninsula. Second, Muhammad is part of what the Akashic Records call the Emerald Flame Collective, also known as the Emerald Order, a soul stream that incarnates periodically to restore spiritual truth through revelation and sacred teachings. This collective includes other souls such as Enoch, Idris, Moses. Each brought divine law to earth in a way that matched their culture and timeline. Muhammad's role was to complete a cycle of prophetic messages by drawing humanity back to a singular, sovereign source. Third, the spiritual purpose of his incarnation was to purify distorted power structures such as tribalism, idol worship, and class division, return devotion to unity, known as Tawheed, the oneness of God, anchor a vibrational revelation that could move across centuries and civilizations, and to preserve sacred feminine codes within a masculine dominant world by hiding them esoterically within the Quran. His soul blueprint was built on strength through surrender, discipline as devotion, and remembrance as unity. And finally, Muhammad did not claim to be a founder, but rather a messenger in an eternal stream. He called himself the seal of the prophets, the one who closed a line of sacred transmissions that came through many tongues and cultures, each carrying the same truth: there is only one divine source, and everything returns to it.
Now, according to the Akashic Records, what is the spiritual origins of Jinn in Islam?
From the perspective of the Akashic Records, the beings known as Jinn or Jinn in Islam are very real, but their nature is multidimensional and often misunderstood. They are not simply demons or tricksters, nor are they imaginary. They are part of a broader class of interdimensional intelligences that have interacted with humanity long before organized religion. Let's explore their spiritual origin and nature in resonance with both Islamic teachings and Akashic truth. Origin in Islamic cosmology. According to the Quran, Jinn were created from smokeless fire, humans were created from clay, angels from light. Jinn were created before humans, and like humans, they have free will. Some Jinn are righteous, others are rebellious. Not all are evil. From the Akashic perspective, this language reflects a real energetic species, not physical like humans, but existing in a parallel vibrational spectrum on Earth. What are Jinn spiritually? In the Akashic view, Jinn are fourth dimensional beings. They are not inherently dark or light. They are energy-based life forms with distinct consciousness, emotional range, and individual intentions. They are closely related to what some traditions call elementals, nature spirits, astral intelligences, or etheric entities. They are most associated with the element of fire, meaning they operate on fast, reactive frequencies, can be volatile, magnetic, or intensely powerful, thrive in emotional energy and vibrational manipulation. 3. Not all Jinn are malicious like humans. Jinn vary in intent. Some are benevolent, even protective. Others are neutral, curious observers or quiet cohabitants. A minority are malevolent, especially when provoked, dishonored, or bound. In Sufi mysticism, it's acknowledged that Jinn can even become spiritual allies when approached with purity and respect. The misuse of Jinn in occult practices. Historically, some humans have tried to bind or control Jinn using ritual, contracts, or coercion to gain power. From the Akashic view, this is deeply out of alignment and leads to karmic entanglement. Many hauntings, possessions, or spiritual disturbances stem from this kind of misuse or disrespect. Jinn are sovereign beings. They cannot and should not be owned. True interaction requires spiritual hygiene and integrity. Why are they feared? Because they exist in the unseen, people often project fear onto them. Because they can influence emotions, dreams, and thoughts, they are blamed for inner dissonance. And because some dwell in the lower astral, they may become reactive, especially around trauma, death, or spiritual awakenings. But they are not evil by default, only misunderstood. Ancestral and earthbound roles. Jinn are deeply tied to land, families, deserts, and thresholds, such as caves, graveyards, and ruins. In many Islamic and indigenous traditions, some jinn are protectors of sacred spaces or ancestral lines. Others act as energy recyclers, clearing stagnation and anchoring polarity. These roles echo similar beings like elementals, fae, or spirit guardians in other lineages. Final Akashic insight. Jinn are not myths. They are the fireborn kin, free-willed, vibrational beings woven into the Earth's unseen layers. To fear them is to remain blind. To honor them with boundaries and awareness is to walk with wisdom between the worlds.